Hey everybody, welcome back. I guess more like I'm back. As probably most of you know, video game championship for Pokemon. The rules have been announced for the 2015 season, so this is going to be light coverage. The beginning is going to be the basic rules for people who may want to get into playing Pokemon as a competitive. I wouldn't say esport. How about esport? That's the word for it. So the first maybe 2-3 minutes will be for that, and then there's a couple new additional rules that have been announced. I'll show you all the banned Pokemon and just some basic stuff. If you guys have been playing for a while, skip this video. You don't need it. Look at the rules. I'll post them in my description. I'll post a link there. Just look at the rules yourself. You'll notice a couple things that are new. Otherwise, if you're new and you want to get into it, this is for you. So straight up, let's go. The basics of playing Pokemon as an esport. If you want to show up to, God, it sounds weird when I say it. If you want to show up to these tournaments and you want to play for titles such as World Champion, other good titles, National Champion, Regional Champion, all that good stuff, here's what you need to know. Format's doubles. Always has been, probably always will be, which means 2 Pokemon on each player's side of the field at a time. Everything's leveled to 50. Well, leveled down, not leveled up. If you're under 50, go level up your Pokemon. The format is C6 pick 4. You bring 6 Pokemon in your party in your battle box, but you only get to pick 4 to battle with, and you get 90 seconds to see your opponent's 6 and try to decide what you think he's going to bring. And the Pentagon rule, meaning the Pokemon that are legal, they have to be caught, bred, or received as an official gift in Pokemon X, Y, or Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. So always make sure all the Pokemon you want to bring to these tournaments have a little blue pentagon next to their stats. It's somewhere in the stats thing. You'll see it. It's a blue pentagon. Like, that's all there is to it. Just go check it out. Continuing on. So yes, Pentagon clause. All Pokemon have to have that pentagon to be legally acceptable at these tournaments. Species clause. You can't have 2 Pokemon with the same Pokedex numbers, which means like you can't use 2 different Rotom forms. You can't use what else has different Pokedex numbers? I don't know. I think Rotom's like a big one. I don't know, but yeah, whatever. Item clause, you can't use 2 of the same hold items. As much as you want to run 6 leftovers, you can't do that. To compete, you must have a copy of Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, and yes, they can be digital. That's fine. You have to have a Nintendo 3DS, 3DS XL, or 2DS charged when you show up to these tournaments. Please have them charged, because you can lose if you run out of battery. And they actually have to be from your home system. They're from your home country. So if I'm going to play here in America, I have to have like a US DS. I don't know why they do that, but they do. You also have to have a team of legal Pokemon in the battle box, at least 4, up to 6. As far as time limits go, if you're playing the game, each match is 15 minutes long. You get 90 seconds for a team preview. That's when you see your opponent's 6 Pokemon, and you get to pick which 4 of yours you want to bring. And then you get 45 seconds per turn to choose your moves, to switch, to run, do whatever you want. So that's all. Those are all the real basics. That's all. If you've played the game before, if you've been to these tournaments, that's what you're going to know. Otherwise, I get this question a lot. There are special scenarios where winning and losing is determined in the game, such as you lose if you KO yourself intentionally with a move to finish out the game. So if you got 1 Pokemon left and they have 1 Pokemon left, or I guess 2 and 2 for some of these, if you're ending the game with Explosion, with Destiny Bond, with Final Gambit, with a move that you know would always like KO you. Like Destiny Bond, you are always like, well, this only works if I get KO'd. Final Gambit always KOs you. Explosion always KOs you. If you use a move like that to end the game out, to KO your own last Pokemon and their last Pokemon, that's a loss. So keep that in mind. I get asked this a lot. That will, you lose. However, if you're using an item, if recoil or an ability ends the game, you win. So Double Edge does not always KO you. But if it happens to KO you and you win the game by using it, you still win. Rough Skin, even though they KO you, it's there to do damage to them. You win because it's your ability. Rocky Helmet works the same way as Rough Skin. So that's good information to know, so you don't go out and try to just explode 4 times and win games, because you won't win. Banned. You can use any Pokemon in this format. VGC 15 will allow you to use any Pokemon that has blue pentagon, it's been, bred in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X or Y, as long as it's not one of these guys. Now, it's most of the legendaries, except for a lot of the trios aren't here. In fact, all of the trios aren't here. Well, I guess if you want to count Kyurem in that trio. That doesn't really count. No. All like the real trios aren't here. Trachion's legal. Azelf is legal. I don't know why you use that, but if you want to use that, Latios and Latias are also legal. So if it's not here, you can use it. Also, Soldew. I'm not sure if we can even get that item, but if you somehow find it or something, yeah, you can't bring that. So don't use that. For those of you who are new, we play this game for a lot of reasons. It's fun, friends, but also for titles. So regional champion, national champion, world champion. Worlds itself is an invite only tournament, and so a lot of people, especially if you've been playing for a while, are really eager to see how Worlds is going to play out. This year, the structure has changed quite a bit. There's no LCQ anymore, and instead they've just increased the amount of people they're going to invite. So at every tournament, if you place well, you're awarded championship points according to how well you placed and how many people showed up. If you're within the top 40 people who have the most championship points in the US and Canada, you actually get an invite to Worlds this year. It used to be, what was it, last year, 16. The year before that was 12. So 40 is a huge increase. In Europe, top 60 get an invite to Worlds. Latin America and Asia Pacific both have a top 18. South Africa gets a top 2. But then again, I think like 25 people showed up to their nationals. So top 2 is like 8% of their player base or something. I don't know. So that's why they did that like that. That's for both Masters and Seniors, both categories. These invites are the same, which is pretty nuts. Now, I said Worlds is a 3-day event, and so in day 1, you're going to play everyone else, and you have to go at least X and 2. You have to only lose 2 times or less in order to move on to day 2. However, if you're within the top X amount of championship points in each of these regions, you get a direct invite to Worlds day 2, and you get to avoid that whole scuffle of everyone playing in day 1. So in the US and Canada, if you're within the top 8 championship points, amount, then you get a direct invite to day 2. Europe gets a top 16 direct invite to day 2. And then Latin America and Asia Pacific both get their top 2 get a direct invite to day 2. And South Africa doesn't get any. Yeah. So there's that. And guys, that's it. So those are the basic rules and any changes that are really important to the system. If you guys want to read the rules yourself, which I absolutely recommend doing if you have not, I'll have a link in my description just to familiarize yourself. I am back. I will start posting VGC 2015 content soon. I've been playing a little bit, and so I got some thoughts. We could do some sharing, maybe some games and stuff, and that'll be good. So thanks so much, and thanks for your patience, everyone. I've been waiting for 2015 to come out, and then, school stuff to do, whatever. But yeah, so good luck playing, and hope you guys learned something.